in my sales process. So this is after I get through and I go into my offer paperwork in my sales process, the next thing that I'll walk my clients through is a client net sheet. And in this client net sheet, we break down to encourage the feeling of certainty and process and everything else, support. We break down, hey, how much would you net if based on our cash value? How much you would net if you were to fix it up and then sell it? Then how much you would net if you were to just sell it in its as is condition on the open market as an agent. And so really what we're comparing is this net number to this net number, because that's the real decision that's being made. Okay, this middle option, we love just to cross out. Okay, we cross that one out all the time. But it's always between these last two right here. So and if you can get these numbers close, then it's a deal easily, right? And you're providing certainty, support, and everything else. So this is a big part of our closing process right there.
And you have a separate kind of choreography of how you run through that too on the iPad, right?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And it has to be choreographed. And the simple way to choreograph it is just do it once, record it using Notability, like as you do it. And you just kind of go back and like kind of take them through the human emotions like I did, like we just went through. But you do the same thing while you're talking through the net sheet.
Yep.
You also kind of drew a model like this when we were talking, Eric, how the conversation starts at a high, ends on a high, right?
Yeah.
Can you kind of walk through this kind of smiley face?
Yeah. So when I'm speaking on and training on this topic of building rapport and all those emotional states that we just went through, I oftentimes find myself drawing this little funny shape here, and Dan called it a smiley face, and I was like, sweet, I like that. But what it is, it's identifying just a cycle that we take somebody through in a sales cycle, and it starts on a high because we're building rapport. But through the questions and drawing the emotion down to the pain is the low spot. So we're going to be asking questions, qualifying, and going through to identify the real pain. The pain is the impact. So we want the energy to draw down. Boom, there's the impact, right?
Yep.
We establish the impact of the pain. The bigger the crater, the bigger the gap, the better off we are, right? So what we establish the pain. Then that's when we turn the corner. That's when picture perfect, pressure release. And we start asking, and the sales process goes back up to the positive. Okay. So that's the sales cycle that we need, our sales team to understand. Where have we taken all of our clients through that cycle?
Yep, exactly. So the third hot principle is give them the stage. And this is really just all about what we talked about just now, the iPad system, the seller net sheet. At this point, I'd like to just kind of, if you could just share your screen and kind of show us what that system looks like, and just give people tips on like how to use this. Anyone can kind of figure this out themselves. Of course, you've templatized it and used it 300,000 times, but it'd be cool to kind of see just how you are able to get your acquisitions manager out of everything else and just give them a platform and a stage for them to do what they do best.
Yeah. So when you have a process nailed down like this, and Dan's exactly right. So this is my Notability application, which is what I use on my iPad. And right here, you can see that I have 361 seller appointments, all recorded right here. These are all just individual seller appointments that I've been through. You can click on, any one of these and you'll go through.
And you can play back the whole conversation, right?
You can play back the conversation. You can do all of these cool things, take you right back to the moment of contract. And this is what, right? And this is telling a story in front of a seller.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Highlighting the different aspects of the subject property. Okay, this is just what it looked like all the way through. I go through all the comps, the market condition. I take pictures at the property. So this is me. I have a blank page right here, and using the iPad, I can take this photo, and just import them right into the file. So when we're talking to when it's time to present the offer, their file is all current with photos, ready to go. We do a discussion about the subject property, how we comp. We go through the bracketing process with the homeowner, walk through the condition of all these different comps. And on the iPad, you can zoom in, right? You can take all these notes, circle certain things, top of the market, whatever. Certain aspects that you don't want them to forget, okay? And as we go through this, then it goes right into after we talked about the subject property, we looked at the comps, we had a bracketing conversation to temper their opinion of value, then that rolls right into the client net sheet. So that, again, am I building rapport as I'm writing on the iPad, circling things, sitting right next to them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right?
You're working on it together. It makes it a we situation instead of you versus them.
Exactly. So I'm literally just scratching all of this stuff out right there with them. And then right on down to a signature. I just happened to pick a random file where we got all the way down to a signature right here. Okay. And here I am just highlighting the different, okay, so So you can just see how interactive this process is. That's the level of rapport. That's what creates the certainty to everything that comes through. So I walk every single client that I go to, or every appointment that we go to, follows the same process. So it's systematic every single time. We know that it works. People love this. The compliments that come out of this process is incredible. Yeah. They feel supported. Wow, nobody ever explained it to me this way. Nobody was ever willing to show me both sides of the table. Blah, 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 all of those things. Right? If I can trust you here, I can trust you over there. That's what's happening. Okay.
When I make the analogy to CarMax, and that your acquisitions process should look more like CarMax than a grandma's last minute garage sale, I mean this right here. This is the CarMax experience, where you're just taking through, you're sitting down in front of the computer, he's showing you all the comps of other cars that are being sold, and he gives you a price that the magical computer spits out, and this is just what it is, and the offer is good for a week, and you can take it or leave it. And look, I didn't come up with the number, as my assistant came up with the number. So
comps are what the comps are. I can't dictate the market. It is what it is. Right?
Exactly.
And so the other wonderful thing is you're able to do this out in the field, right in front of people. So this is the wow factor. Like when I'm presenting, and the clients, like after we'd handwritten and we went through all of the stuff, we're taking notes together. A lot of the time they're like, oh shit, dude, can I get a copy of that? Or I'll ask them, would you like a copy of that? And they're like, yeah, man, that would be cool with all of your notes. Yeah, no problem. I can go in here and select which pages I want to share with them, which pages I don't want to share with them, and then just hit perfect. Okay, so I can just boom, boom. I want these pages and this market deal and the client net sheet and the purchase and sale agreement. So just 8 of the 35 pages. Boom, email the note out. Okay, so now it's just like the speed of implementation all the way through. So they got everything. So right then, even if it wasn't a contract, or maybe it was a contract, whatever, but for me to be able to boom, email them and have their phone vibrate, bang, got it. Let's check it. Oh, you got it. Cool. Right? Rapport. Right? It's through the roof. So just having that ability is just next level.
So they're getting this. I mean, a lot of this, like the system that you sell kind of automates the creation of this, right? The net sheet and all that, or is this more of just a process that your lead manager puts these files together and then shoots them over to the acquisition manager's notability account?
Yeah. So, I mean, what I sell is all my templates, all my scripts, everything to do with this process that I have developed over the years is included. So, I mean, like that, I just, every single thing, every template, my repair sheet, my client net sheet, my my testimonial templates, every single thing is all included. So the really setting people up, to win, right? All the way through.
So I'm assuming your ops coordinator / lead manager is the one that's creating these documents, right?
Yeah, it's a combination. I mean, whoever's doing the desktop analysis, the thing that is the heavy lifting here is just the desktop analysis. You have a very simple spreadsheet to fill out, and you have comps to pull on the MLS. The comps you export as a PDF and you import, just drag drop. And the analysis is just a spreadsheet, just a deal analyzer. And and it's a good one. I mean, it's simple and accurate. So I mean, it's just plugging in a couple numbers to get that result and then exporting PDF comps. Simple.
So could you walk through the different like table of contents of what this looks like for people that want to take a crack at this?
Yeah. So what do you mean table of contents?
Just what's the format of these documents, 35-page documents? So
yeah. So let's go through it real quick. So at the very top page, I'll have is some script outline, right? Just keeping in, I'm not necessarily writing notes on this, but I'll have this with me just to framework, keep this stuff in front of me. Like, do I know their problem? Did I figure out the impact, right? Picture perfect. So this is, just really real sales psychology that I just want to have in front of me. So it just keeps me sharp. Then it goes into.
So the sellers aren't going to see that necessarily. This is just when you're walking around the property before they're looking down at the iPad with you. All right.
Exactly. This would be the equivalent of like
internal.
Yeah, my clipboard. What's I don't show everything, right? So then I fill out my really quick, process evaluation here. Then this is my deal analyzer, just a little screenshot snippet from my deal analyzer, just for perspective. As I'm walking around the property, I do a little semi-appraisal sketch, a little rough out appraisal sketch here. The really simple. I take note of the comps as I'm driving around the comps. What's the best as is comp or ARV comp? So I have a page just for those types of notes, my value. This is the page that I use for communicating from the field into the office. Like if a follow-up with a final analysis needs to be done. So this would be the asset manager communicating to the operations coordinator. Hey, what happened out in the field? Okay, so I can send this internal right there. This is where it turns to client facing right here, the offer packet. So the offer packet has a cover page about our team. So I like to introduce everybody, it makes the whole personable all the way through. Yeah. Title, escrow, our testimonials. I have all of this in templates for my clients. So, the different testimonials, then the subject property information. So this is just a subject property card. This is a comparative analysis. So this is more of a, in prop stream, they'll do their stock little market analysis. So if I think that the information on this page is going to help me, I'll include it. If it's not, I'm not going to include it, power of choice. Yeah. So in this scenario, I included it. Then I have a blank page right here for me to take the photos while I'm walking around the house to determine the condition, the day that I walk the property. Then after we talk about the subject property, we go into comps. So we identify where the subject is. I explain why we pulled the comps that we did. We walk through the comps. I include the subject detail and the gallery view so we can see if there's questions about condition that we can address those together. Okay, how many comps do I bring out? I bring out the relevant ones. If it's 10, if it's 5, if it's, probably not more than 15, but, I bring out the relevant ones. And that's the cool thing about operating digital. I'm not limited. If I use 20 pages or 2 pages, it makes no difference on my experience, right? I'd rather be over prepared than under prepared. But if you were printing out paper, you would give that a little bit different thought, right? So as I go through the comps, right? Then you end up at your, okay, so now that we looked at the comps, now let's talk about the offer. What could that be like? Then that goes into the net sheet. Then from the net sheet to a purchase and sale agreement.
Okay.
And then what happens after I sign the contract? Because that's always a question. Now what? Okay. So that's my process. That's what we go through.
Contract, next steps. Boom. I just took notes of kind of the format of the offer packet. I think it's the distinction between your internal clipboard and then the client facing offer packet is important. And all of this is in service of giving them the stage, right? Letting them be the rock star, putting it so that just have everything in front of them. They don't need to be fumbling around inside of whatever CRM. They just have the right information to do the work that they're there to do, which is to contract a property.
Yep.
And I think that if you're using an iPad or a Galaxy Note or whatever, it's all the same. Just make sure you have a system to make it quick and easy for you to show up to an appointment with all this pre-made, which means that make it once yourself and then document how you did it and then hand it off to a VA. All right. It doesn't need to be more complicated than that. Right. And if you want to just shortcut that, just buy Erik's system because he's already figured it out. You just kind of plug and play. So both of these options are available to you, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, and just to be fair, largely this is this, you guys just saw it, right? I don't want to make it sound like it's like,
it's
something.
It's the process behind it though, that you figured out.
Exactly. There's a surface level. This is what it is, but is there more to it psychologically yes, of course. Right. And so that's when working with my clients, that's what I help them extract out and make it fit them exactly the way it is, because it is absolutely not a silver bullet or a one-stop shop. It's like, this is a really, really, really good sales process that we can then make it work for you, right? Make it fit your company.